So about 2 weeks ago, I featured a short clip from ex-Tesla board member, who's milking that for all it's worth, I would too, Steve Wesley, who made a rather outrageous claim that Elon Musk, at the same time Tesla was laying off many employees, was asking for a, quote, $55 billion pay increase. I took a moment to look up the definition of pay and built the case that it seemed a little bit misleading to insinuate that Musk was asking for a $55 billion pay increase when, one, it's stock-based compensation, not salary, meaning that he literally has to pay Tesla loads of cash, billions of dollars actually, in order to buy options that were previously allocated back in 2018 that he fairly earned as part of his 2018 compensation package. I thought, this is a weird thing to say. It seems a bit misleading. I wonder why somebody would appear in the media and be misleading. Seems a bit weird, unless, of course, you've got the memo that Elon Bad. Well, it turns out today, former Tesla board member Steve Wesley says he would vote no on Musk's pay package. If there was any doubt remaining in your minds about the nature of this man, I'm sure that this clip will clear things up. And as a bonus, I'm going to be sharing some cut footage from the video I published on those previous comments from Steve about 2 weeks ago. Yes, believe it or not, some stuff does end up on the chopping room floor. But I'm going to revisit that because I had some intuition at the time, and I think it's very appropriate now, given that we're aware that Steve is on the record that he would vote no on Musk's compensation package, which again was previously approved in 2018. It's not voting no on a new pay package. It's voting to rob him of fairly earned compensation. A deal's a deal. Apparently not. So let's watch this new clip, and I'm sure I'll find an opportunity to insert that cut footage from a couple of weeks ago.
We are 1 week away from the Tesla shareholder vote. That is where Musk's multi-billion-dollar pay package is at stake, as well as the relocation of the company from Delaware to Texas. Reincorporation, really. Of course, they already are headquartered in Texas. Former Tesla board member and the Wesley Group founder and managing partner Steve Wesley joins us now. Steve, always good to have you. I assume you're still, and I might be wrong, a shareholder. But either way, I'm curious as to how you would vote on the compensation package. Yes or no?
Well, I think I'd probably vote no. Look, Elon's done an extraordinary job. He's built one of the transformational companies of the age. But asking for a $55 billion pay increase, precisely the time when you've missed quarterly numbers, growth is slowing down.
Well, it turns out that it wasn't a slip of the tongue in Steve's appearance a couple of weeks ago. No, it's now a talking point. Elon Musk is asking for a $55 billion pay increase, he says. This is misleading, to put it lightly, and extremely dishonest, to put it more accurately. For one, this is an agreement that was made back in 2018. Hit these milestones, achieve these goals, receive stock-based compensation. The way that this is being framed, if you're just a typical derp watching CNBS, you hear this go, wait, he wants $55 billion now? As if to suggest that this is new, not for services rendered and goals achieved from a 2018 compensation plan that was previously agreed upon. You know, a deal's a deal, right? But more to the point, when you hear the term pay increase, asking for $55 billion pay increase, or words to that effect, you hear the word pay, what do you think? What does most people think when they hear that word? Let's see. Oxford Dictionary definition of pay. 1. Give someone money that is due for work done, goods received or debt incurred. So in this instance, that would suggest that Tesla is giving Musk $55 billion of money for work done. This is not the case. These are stock options. Musk has to pay Tesla literally billions of dollars in order to buy options that were previously allocated all the way back in 2018 when this compensation plan was agreed upon. It's not new money. It's not cash. But many people would probably get the impression who don't have a sophisticated understanding of the difference between stock-based compensation. They look, well, $55 billion? That's a lot of money. No. The next definition, give a sum of money in exchange for goods or work done. Another one, hand over or transfer the amount due of a debt, wages, etc. to someone, of work, an investment, etc. Provide someone with a sum of money. Now, I know we're going down a semantics rabbit hole here, but I think it's kind of important because most people, when they hear a statement suggesting that Musk is asking for a $55 billion pay increase, I assume, if they have learned the definition of words, would hear that and think that Elon Musk wants Tesla to pay him $55 billion in cash. Pretty outrageous and, dare I say, rather misleading. And when I heard this statement a couple of weeks ago from Steve, I went off on a bit of a tangent because my spidey sense started to tingle. Why the fuck would you say something that's so incredibly misleading? It just doesn't seem right. It's very different than the reality, which is, again, this is stock-based compensation. By the way, just to make things really simple for the non-accounting/finance nerds, There's roughly 3 billion shares of Tesla stock currently outstanding, just roughly. The way that this stock-based compensation works with options is a small amount of dilution occurs for shareholders. In other words, new potential shares are put to the side as part of this 2018 compensation award, right? Tesla pays nothing at all. It doesn't cost Tesla anything at all, nothing. It's just a little bit of magic in terms of some numbers. I'm not kidding, by the way. So Tesla pays nothing, but potentially dilutes Tesla shareholders. New potential shares are put aside. And if Musk achieves these milestones, he has the option, keyword option here, of buying those shares at a previously agreed upon price, which is a fraction of what Tesla is today. He literally has to buy those options from Tesla at a previously agreed upon price. You'll have to spend billions of dollars, and Tesla will end up with billions of dollars of additional cash in their coffers as a result of this. That's what we're talking about here. This is not Tesla paying Elon Musk $55 billion. Stock-based compensation, by the way, is fucking incredible. Now, if you go a little bit overboard, you can end up diluting shareholders too much, because if you keep issuing new stock and options, blah, 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 the number of outstanding shares increases, blah, 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 meaning everyone who owns a bit of Tesla effectively owns a slightly smaller slice as a result because there are more shares. But this is so different from a company literally coming up with $55 billion of cash to pay somebody. So let's rewind the clock a couple of weeks to the cut footage of me when I first heard this statement from Steve, and my intuition started going, hey bro, something's not right here. Spidey senses tingling, red alert, something's wrong here, do some digging. My Spidey sense is tingling. I just got to do some digging here. Spidey sense still remains undefeated. Something just seems a little bit off here now. Steve says a lot of things I agree with, but this just doesn't sound right. It's like he's trying to pander to someone or something. So, Steve Wesley of the Wesley Group. Don't know what I'm going to find here, but I just have to do some digging here. We partner with entrepreneurs who are changing the world. Over the last 2 decades, the Wesley Group has partnered with exceptional entrepreneurs at the earliest stages of their companies. In 2008, we invested in a 29-person team called Tesla when Elon Musk set out to create the first mass-market electric vehicle company. By the way, brilliant 400 IQ investment there. This is 2 years prior to Tesla's IPO. Now, obviously, risk of failure was fairly high, but boy, oh boy, how well this investment has aged. Skipping ahead a bit. Oh, interesting. In 2017, we partnered with Austin Russell and Luminar in their journey to build automotive-grade LiDAR for an autonomous future. Who said LiDAR is a fool's errand and companies using LiDAR are doomed? Who was that guy again? Oh, fancy that. Elon Musk. Coincidence, right? Now, I still just... Wait, what's this? Wait, we have an entire ESG tab on the... Oh, no, this is not a good sign. This is actually a very... very bad sign. Uh-oh, ESG. I think we might have just discovered. Oh boy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ESG is a gigantic fucking scam. But you knew that already, right? Was it Philip Morris not long ago who had a significantly higher ESG score than Tesla? You know, the company that produces cancer sticks? Yeah, exactly. ESG is a scam. So the fact that the Wesley Group has an ESG tab on their website, our commitment to the scam is, I think I'm starting to understand a few things here now. Let's have a look here. Why ESG matters to us. Translation, in my opinion, because we want people who think ESG is not a scam to invest with us and or approve of us, right? I'm going to search for a few words here. I'm going to search for diversity, inclusion, inequality, and variations thereof, right? Let's see. Diversity. 1, 2, what? Our partnerships? Holy fuck, what is this? They're direct partners with something called Diversity VC. Diversity VC is a non-profit helping drive diversity, equity, and inclusion in... shit. I wish I didn't do my homework now. God damn it, dude. Is this real life? Can I click to this? God damn, this is going to be delicious. Oh, look, get certified. I bet that you can pay these guys and or girls and or... Wait, they, them, things, zongs, zing-zangs, and everything else in between. Just make sure they've got a... You know what I mean? Pay them to get certified as tick diversity certified. Oh, this is going to be great. Let's click the get certified thing. What is this? That's hilarious. They got a form. Okay, so I'm really going down the rabbit hole here. I'm going to get back. Otherwise, I'll get distracted. But how many times? So we see diversity twice. Now, what was the other one that I said? Oh, inclusion. Well, we've got 3 variations of inclusion. Inclusive, and inclusion. I wonder if we've got any instances of meritocracy and merit. Merit. Nope. Interesting. How about inequality? One instance of... Oh, we got justice. I got to look for justice as well. Fuck me dead. Oh, no, this is the only instance of justice. All right, so this is... I can't... Oh, man. We also recognize DEI as an interwoven set of practices across each E, S, and G topics because we believe diverse, inclusive, and equitable teams are foundational to strong ESG practices. Yep, not strong to results or performance, but to ticking the ESG boxes. So scrolling a little bit more on the Why ESG Matters page, 2020 November, became a member of Venture ESG. May 2021, released first annual ESG report. March 2022, invited to partake in PRI's first discussion paper on ESG in VC, as in venture capital. Featured in PRI case study on diversity in venture capital. Well, if box ticking virtue signaling was a contest, we might have a gold medal winner here. Yikes. So that was a serious rabbit hole. I just thought it was worth digging because those comments from Steve just seemed a little bit whack, a bit disingenuous, a bit misleading. I thought, why would he say that? He's a smart dude. That seems a bit weird. Unless, well, maybe now we know. Because remember, Elon bad, equity good, meritocracy bad, Elon big billionaire, billionaire bad, big billionaire, very bad, biggest billionaire, the most bad. Oh, $55 billion pay increase. Interesting. Now, look, call me crazy, but I think there may be a mind virus infecting the Wesley Group. Or maybe I just am experiencing tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist syndrome. What do you guys think? Keeping in mind that Musk himself has repeatedly called ESG a scam. Correct, he's right. And also, DEI, also a scam, or words to that effect, which is also true. What happened to meritocracy? So, to recap, ESG is a scam, DEI is anti-meritocratic, companies using LiDAR are doomed, and Elon Musk is asking for a $55 billion pay increase. Nothing to see here. Please tell us more, Steve. Oh, hey, it's President Stephen again. It's kind of confusing, isn't it? I know. So that's what I had to say and didn't ultimately publish because I ran too much. Don't want to put everyone to sleep. A couple of weeks ago, after I heard those weird comments about Elon Musk apparently asking for $55 billion in cold hard cash, at least that's how I would interpret that statement. Obviously, I am just suffering from tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist syndrome, right? So anyway, back to the comments from Steve here.
And you've laid off 15% of the workforce is, I'd say, hubris to say the least. I think the real story here is going to be that an awful lot of the world's pension funds, including CalPERS and CalSTRS, right, serve on the board, highly likely to vote no. I think that's what's likely to push a no vote. It's going to be high drama next week. I think everybody's going to be watching. Me first.
Yeah, no, I've reported
Drama, most definitely, and certainly there are some extremely woke ESG deep-throating pension funds out there that seem to be under the impression that they have a fiduciary responsibility not to do what's in the best interest of their clients, their customers, aka their investors, but to tick virtue signaling boxes like pathetic fucking wankers. Again, please, somebody, not emotionally, but logically explain how a current Tesla shareholder, e.g. a pension fund, could possibly justify voting no to ratify Musk's fairly earned 2018 compensation. How could you possibly justify rationally why that would be a positive thing for the value of Tesla, the company, and Tesla shares? How could you argue that? The answer is you can't argue that logically. You just can't. And the closest thing that anyone would attempt is, but there'll be less dilution. You moron! If that's all you got nothing. So you have to ask the question, why would these pension funds vote to shoot themselves in the foot? Admit out loud that they're voting to shoot themselves in the foot and harm their investment in Tesla. Unless, of course, they're willing to sacrifice their reputation, praying to the one true God, ESG, the world's greatest scam. When I say the world's greatest scam, I mean it. ESG is a gigantic fucking scam. On screen now, this is not new information, but recently reposted by Brett Winton of ARK Invest. Some next level trolling here. Brett posts that Tesla scores very poorly on the ESG scam metrics because their cars are way too safe, and clearly they don't take emissions reduction seriously, which makes total sense. That's why ESG portfolios avoid them. Tesla's ESG score, 40. Philip Morris International ESG score, literally producer of cancer sticks, 85. You cannot make this shit up. How anyone with even half a brain cell could see ESG as even slightly credible. This is all you need to know. Philip Morris makes cigarettes and tobacco products that kill people. There's no argument on this. And I'm all for people being able to do whatever the fuck they want to themselves. Smoke as much as you like. But the fact that this company has an ESG score of 85, very high, and Tesla's at a 40, tells you literally everything you need to know. ESG is a gigantic fucking scam. And I would be ashamed and embarrassed to be the Wesley Group or anyone else who dedicates an entire section on their website to how deeply they smoke the ESG pole. Kathy Wood also calling a spade, pointing out that this is ridiculous. The fact that Tesla's ESG score is 40 and Philip Morris's 85. What? Good question, Kathy. Well, shit, I went down another rabbit hole. Keeps happening. Good thing I rant for a living. Anyway, that slight detour began when Steve mentioned the fact that there are pension funds out there right now who are stroking and slurping and caressing and fondling the gigantic member of the ESG scam. If your goal is to tick those boxes, then all bets are off and you may act completely irrationally, just like those who spit in the face of meritocracy in their hiring practices and in fact potentially enforce racist hiring policies discriminating against the best candidates would also be shooting themselves in the foot, yet for some weird reason that's totally okay right now. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, back to the clip. I hope I don't get cancelled. If I do, I'll see you on X.
Reported as well, the index funds, which I believe all voted against in 18, also likely. It's going to be perhaps an uphill battle for them. I'm curious, though, as to why you feel that way. I mean, this was approved by 73% of the shareholders in 2018. It was way out of the money. In fact, I remember at the time we were discussing the fact that, my God, could you imagine them ever reaching these kinds of price targets on the stock for him to get any money? And they did.
Yes, indeed. So very curious. Hard to understand why. Back onto the Wesley Group website. That magical ESG. I'm going to get in nice and close so you guys can see. Oh, now this is interesting. Now, I'm going to go on another tangent here, but nerd alert. Did you notice, I noticed, that the navigation has dropped and contact has now fallen onto a second line? This is terrible, terrible web design. You know what I think happened? I think, by the way, I used to code websites, at least in Propulsion for a living. I think that at some point after this website went live, on this latest design, using a template probably, that somebody was told, hey, we need to insert a new link in the navigation bar. Please insert that link. And they didn't do all the testing on different devices because this should not happen. Now, I'm going to do a live experiment here. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but let's just see. We'll go a bit closer and zoom in more. Okay, so it's still broken. And now it goes to the collapse nav. Okay, cool. So here, what we're going to do now, we're going to do an experiment and see that if we can delete ESG from the navigation, does it unbreak itself? That might suggest that somebody at the last minute, hey bro, we need to put an ESG section on our website. Smoke that pole, baby. Deep throat that ESG shit. Let's just see what happens. All right, so we found it. Here is the ESG item. There. Let's see what happens if we delete it. Ready? We're going to count down. 3, 2, 1, delete. Huh. What do you fucking know? Look at that. The navigation's not broken anymore. Look at that. Now, god damn it, dude. I seriously am undefeated. What is that? Spidey sense? Like 3 trillion to 0? I just got to pat myself on the back for a moment, folks. Can you hear that? Yep, I actually did it. Now, obviously, I'm just tinfoil hat alert. That's definitely not the actual case. Somebody didn't actually get the memo. Hey, bro, quick, we need to suck that ESG dick a bit harder. Let's put an ESG section on our website. And the web dev did it after the site went live previously. And suddenly the navigation breaks at certain levels of zoom and on certain devices because it was never designed to fit that fucking unnecessary virtue signaling wank that's called ESG in the first place. Obviously, tinfoil hat alert, obviously, that's not really what happened. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be funny? It'd be so lame and pathetic and predictable. I'm just going to, one more time, look, zoom in, see? Collapses, zoom out, everything's perfectly fine, but ESG's back and suddenly it will break. You can't make this stuff up, bro. I mean, how embarrassing for these guys. Wow. All right, let me just reload the site, bring back the ESG scam. Now, just to be clear, it's obviously true that any one of these additions to the navigation bar could have broken things, right? So the question we must ask, if we're being intellectually honest with ourselves, is which of these sections was probably not on the first iteration of this navigation bar? Which of these would you not have needed to have on your website? You probably needed the home. You probably needed about. You probably need a portfolio since that's what you do. You probably need news. You probably need team, jobs, and contact, right? Now, if anyone wants to nerd out, just go check out the Wayback Machine and find out which one of these was the addition. Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, back to the clip. It's going to be a long fucking video at this rate.
So why judge it now as opposed to think about, well, isn't he deserving of something that he was contractually due?
Hold up, David. I think I can take this question. Sorry, Steve, to interrupt you. How rude of me. But I think I know the answer. I think the answer is because Elon Bad. I think that's the answer.
Well, let me tell you exactly why. If you look at his performance over those years, it was stunning. 2021, Tesla had 71% growth. 2022, 51% growth. These are software type numbers. That's why Tesla rocketed into the top 10 market cap companies of the world. And I think at that point, he probably deserved it. But if you look at what's...
By the way, that's the end of the discussion. Game over. Game, set, match. Done deal. And whether or not Elon, quote, deserved it is directly tied to the milestones. Did he meet the required milestones for each tranche to vest? The answer is yes. Therefore, he deserved it. The fucking end. A deal's a deal. The revenue grew as needed. Earnings grew as needed. Market cap grew as needed. The milestones were met. The end. The fact now that many people are riding the ESG meat club. The Biden administration has it in for Elon Bad because he's allowing people to discuss things freely on X. The fact that Musk has been standing up about the insanity with the mutilation of children's genitals, the sterilization of children, racist hiring policies, discrimination, these kind of things. The fact that Elon Musk is now standing up against a bunch of bullshit should not enter the equation. But it is. Among people who are clearly either not acting rationally or in fact are acting ultra rationally if you assume that their goal is to signal to the world how much they love gobbling the ESG eggplant.
Happened with growth over the last few years. Last year down to 19%. This year could well be in single digits. Profitability.
So I just wanted to call something out here again. The narrative, huge growth in percentage terms in prior years, and now it's becoming a much lower number. Sorry to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy and just call out the brain damage in that statement. What we're looking at on screen now is an adoption S-curve. Okay, purple is the new technology. In this case, assume we're talking about electric vehicles. And the dashed line is the year-over-year growth in percentage terms. Now, please notice something. At the 15-year mark, we have 100% market share. At the 1-year mark, we have 0% market share. Note the narrative from Steve there, seeming to suggest that, well, the company's underperforming now because the year-over-year percentage growth in terms of electric vehicles is less. What? Now, Steve's a smart guy, so I'm sure he does understand this, which then makes me wonder, why would he suggest that this is not a mathematical necessity of this disruption? Look at what happens. In year one, 140% year-over-year growth, then 138%, then 135%. Look, Ma, triple-digit percentage growth year-over-year forever. That's sustainable. But then suddenly what happens? 127, 111, 86, 55, 30, 14, 6, 3, 1, 0, 0. That's how you get to 100% market share. I find it embarrassing that I have to point this out, but here we fucking are. It is simply impossible to sustain enormous year-over-year percentage increases in something for an extended period of time. There's not enough matter in the fucking universe. By the way, I actually mean that. This is how things work. The more of the market you have, the less of the market remains. Weird to insinuate this is somehow a lack of performance. This is exactly what should be happening. Weird.
Coming down. The facts on the ground have changed, and I think that's why you're likely to see shareholders coming back with a very different perspective. But as I said, we'll see. It'll be high drama next week.
Any concern on your part, or should there be on the part of shareholders, that Musk would depart or devote even less time if in fact he doesn't get this compensation that he says, obviously, and the board says he was due?
Well, I think there's concern, if that's the shareholders, on a lot of things. Will they get the $25,000 car in the next year, leading the pack? The next big issue is, will he really have full self-driving? Waymo's now rolled out in 4 cities, moving nationwide. Tesla's FSD, not quite there yet. So
now, I've been over this trillions of times. I won't go on a super long rant, but we do understand, folks, right, that what Waymo is doing is an extremely brittle, narrow party trick with training wheels in safe little sand pits, using expensive sensors, including LiDAR. The, quote, progress of companies like Waymo operating in extremely small, pre-mapped, tiny little pockets of certain cities globally can give the impression that they're further ahead in terms of Tesla. And while this may technically be true, since they are in fact charging for some rides in some autonomous vehicles in some pockets of planet Earth, the issue here is not about today. We are talking about investments in the future, right? Tesla has developed a generalized solution. It's my strong belief that when Tesla has approval for its first Robotaxi in the first region, it won't be long before they have approval in many other regions, and then states, and then countries, then continents, then the entire goddamn planet. It's simply technologically and financially not feasible for companies like Cruise, Waymo, who require pre-mapping in HD and fuckloads of expensive sensors and don't even make their own vehicles, to scale a Robotaxi service as quickly as Tesla will be able to. In my totally uninformed opinion, remember, I'm just some guy who makes videos on the internet, what would I know?
Not quite there yet, so there are a lot of issues that need to be resolved. But if you'd asked me a year or two ago, is Elon ever going to leave Tesla, I'd say not in a million years. That prospect is a little cloudier. We'll see.
Do you think the best days of Tesla are behind it, Steve?
I think it's too early to throw in the towel on that. Keep in mind, even though Tesla slowed down a bit, at precisely the time the entire global auto industry is moving electric. They just are, and that's because the cost of batteries continue to go down. Tesla still held 52% market share in the United States. That's more than all other competitors combined. So they're in a strong position. They own the dealership. They've got a cost advantage on batteries. But
kind of makes you wonder, how did Tesla get into such a strong position? Certainly has nothing to do with the leadership of Elon Musk, nor the execution. Anyway, moving on.
they've got to kick things into a higher gear. That all starts with fixing full self-driving, getting that $25,000 car into the market.
The world is moving electric, but the world is increasingly and at a quicker pace moving to hybrid. And so
oh, for fuck's sake, not this again. It's not true. Oh, God damn it. Why do they keep saying this? Oh, wait, that's right, because their major advertisers are all automotive companies being disrupted by electric vehicles who realize they can keep selling ICE vehicles with a tiny vibrator-sized battery into them to dump customers for a couple more years, milk some profits, and then go bankrupt. I don't know why we keep hearing this narrative in the media that consumers are moving towards hybrid and hybrid growth is accelerating. What the fuck? I'm not even going to.
So that trend is not favoring Tesla right now, Steve. Can Tesla still remain at a premium valuation when the growth right now, at least for the foreseeable future, is in hybrid?
Bro. Now, look, I don't know. Steve says a lot of things I agree with, and obviously many things I don't. If I didn't know any better, Steve's about to call out the bullshit narrative about consumers moving to hybrid for what it is. A joke. I'm not sure how polite he'd be, but I can tell you, to believe this is to have a severe case of brain damage. There's no data anywhere suggesting that growth in hybrids is accelerating. This is a false narrative. It's just not true. The percentage of hybrids being sold versus electric vehicles versus internal combustion, it's steady, the same proportion. And soon, I believe this is going to decline quite rapidly. This narrative, you know where this narrative is coming from, by the way. It's legacy automotive companies who realize they're going bankrupt, like I said. And they go, fuck it, you know what? Let's invest a little bit more in hybrids to try and milk some short-term profits for the next couple of years before we go bankrupt, because we know how to make ICE vehicles, and hybrids are ICE vehicles with a tiny battery in them. If we can trick enough people into thinking they should buy a hybrid instead of an electric vehicle, and get enough dumb fucks in the finance media and other outlets discussing this same narrative, we might be able to fool a few of our loyal customers into buying a X-brand hybrid because they're the future. The whole thing's a false narrative. It's just not true. There's no data to back this up. It's just hearsay. We're hearing the same shit from car dealerships. Oh, consumers don't want electric vehicles, they want hybrids. Every time. It's just not true. Where's the data, bro? Remember, facts don't care about your feelings. We're looking at the last decade of data, comparing battery electric vehicles with fake electric vehicles, aka hybrids. You will note in percentage terms in green, electric vehicles as a percent of all hybrid and or electric vehicles sold remain stable around the 70% mark. Where is this narrative coming from that hybrid sales are accelerating? It's just not true. I've got a funny feeling that Steve is about to say exactly that. He knows he's got some facts I can see.
The growth is not in hybrids now or in the foreseeable future. If you look at the facts.
Called it. As much as we disagree on some points, I knew that was coming. Steve does have the facts on this one. It's embarrassing to hear people saying that hybrid. Oh, shit. It's almost as embarrassing as it's safe and effective. What? Moving on.
Fastest growing segment in the EV market, it is still all EVs. Look at BYD. The reason for that is the cost of batteries continues to go down roughly 14% a year. I think if you look forward 5 years from now, hybrids will be in the rear view mirror. And I think the people at BYD, Hyundai, and others agree. The people who are clamoring loudest for hybrids are the firms like Toyota, GM, and Ford. They've been the laggards in the sector. They're going to be going all electric too, but make no mistake.
Strongly agree. The guy's called it. He specifically named a bunch of legacy automotive companies who are late to the party. And again, the reason that they're lying about hybrids and suggesting there's interest in trying to sell them is because they're fucked. They're late. They're trying to milk short-term profits. I'm going to keep saying this because it's true, okay? These companies are not as dumb as they appear. They've realized they're fucked. They've realized they're going bankrupt. They realize Tesla's eating their lunch, and so too the Chinese EV makers are thinking, okay, right, we're fucked. We're super fucked. We're fucked as fuck. But what can we do between now and going out of business? Wait, I know what we can do. We can manipulate by advertising, marketing, lies, misinformation, hyperbole, and other such horseshit our loyal customers who will only ever buy a Ford or a Toyota or whatever into thinking that it's a good idea to buy a hybrid, aka an ICE vehicle with a tiny vibrator-sized battery in it. That'll work for a couple of years before consumers realize that that's a dumb idea and before electric vehicles are substantially more affordable than they are today. So let's do that. Let's milk some short-term profits, get a few bonuses, and then we can sail off into the sunset with a golden parachute and let our company fall to pieces.
The future is all electric, not hybrid. At Tesla, well positioned for that one, as is BYD.
Steve, as somebody who was a member of this board, I'm curious, the Delaware Chancery Court obviously decided that the board was not independent, essentially, when they chose to bestow this compensation plan on Mr. Musk. Do you believe this is an independent board, that it does have the ability to rein in Elon Musk?
Look, that's for the courts to decide. I know a lot of the board members. I think they're extraordinary people. How independent they are, I'll leave that one to the courts.
Smooth question dodge there from Steve. Now, this guy's such a big spag. Says plenty of things I agree with, but I'm hoping he can find a cure for this woke mind virus and the worship of the false god known as ESG. I said false god, isn't that superfluous? Wait, what? Don't get mad. You can have your Sky Daddy. Anyway, it is getting serious regarding Musk's compensation, the move to Delaware. We'll know the outcome a few days from now. If you haven't already voted, if you own Tesla shares, I know there's a few people that rarely watch a video and some new viewers, please head to votetesla.com and make your vote count. I'm personally not a big fan of people going back on their word. I am a big fan of a deal being a deal, and I'm a massive fan of incentivizing performance. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. There's plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend, seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game has improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe You might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.